Yo, today the market was selling off and then it reversed. If I had stayed in too long, burn up. But hey, don't overstay a welcome. Never overstay a welcome. If you see profits, you gotta take them profits. Today I did stay in longer due to how the market was moving. Tesla was selling off and I stayed in and I caught almost the bottom. I didn't catch the whole bottom, but I was up like 400% or something like that. It was something crazy. Today was good, but I had to catch that grip because I was making some good funds. So I had to contact my wife to keep me accountable. I contacted her and said, "Hey, man, stop me from going back. Stop me from going back in. Stop me from re-entering." I hit my goal. I surpassed my goal times 100. I surpassed my goal, and I was able to talk to her, and she talked me off the ledge of going back in. Had I went back in, I would have lose all my gains. Watch this. Let me show you. All right. So boom, there I was, pre-market, looking at Tesla go up and go down, go up and go down. Then I said, let me just wait a little bit to get confirmation. I pulled up the cues, and something just told me to pull up Nvidia and Meta because I saw some stuff in the news about Nvidia. And if Nvidia is moving, Nvidia also moves the market just like how Apple moves the market. These are some heavy hitters. They don't move the overall S&P 500. A smaller version of the S&P 500 would be your QQQ and IWM. Those are very similar to the SPY. These are just cheaper. IWM is just a cheaper version of it to me. They have a lot of similarities as far as the stocks it holds in the within the index fund. Okay, so with that out the way, I decided to just look. But then I got my sell alert and I paid attention to that sell alert today. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Tesla because Tesla was the first thing that alerted me today. I've learned that I need to wait for my alerts. If I don't wait for my alerts, I'm not doing too well. So really and truly, I waited for my alert. It gave me the sell signal. I got in on this candle and of course it reversed. My stop loss was really and truly all the way up here at 402. See this? I made a red line to say, hey, my stop loss is over here because if it's giving me, Tesla was giving me, I'm a sell today. But I know I normally say it likes to gravitate towards that 400, but you got to follow the trend. All right. So once it gave me that, I set my indicator here. I set my line in the sun right here as far as if I'm going to be losing too much. I said, okay, cool. And then when it gave me this red candle and I was back to break even, I added some contracts. Okay. I added to my position. Today was a longer trading day for me. And once I added to my position, it turned over. Then it recovered and it turned over again. So for me today, once it turned over like this, I was up. And then I saw this green candle. I say, yeah, this is just simply a pullback because the trend was still down. I went back in. Then I added to my position and this candle and it went down. It pulled back a little bit. I added again. Then it flushed down here. At this point, I'm like, oh yeah, let me see a next green candle now, please. Then I saw another green candle and I said, okay, this line, I marked this line, 394. I said, this is kind of a previous support before. All right. And once it broke through this support, I said it's gonna continue running. So once I saw that green candle again, I got in up here. Once it touched this line, I entered again and it flushed again. Any green candle I saw, I entered. in that green candle, and then it went back down. And I was like, this Sammy is day trading today. Sammy is in and out. Sammy is in and out. Then I looked at my account. I was up like 300% or something like that. I was up 435%. I was up 435%. I said, hold up. I wrote in my little journal saying, okay, I followed the trend. The trend was down, so every green candle was a pullback, and I re-entered. Not with no heavy size, but I re-entered and I came back out, and I'm so glad this PDT thing is done for. So I made about 10 trades today. Most I've traded in a long time, but I made 10 trades today, and I was able to profit over 400% today. Then I saw Nvidia making moves, but at this point I was already up 400%. I said, this was around here. Nvidia was on the opposite. Nvidia was on an uptrend. So I was like, man, good thing I contacted my wife to keep me accountable. She was like, all she did was she just started telling me about what she was doing at work and how her day was going, and that was able to distract me and tell me, hey Sammy, calm down. I know you made some money today, but there's no need to go back in. No need to give back your profits, bro. Like, what are we doing? What are you talking about? Close the laptop, go for a walk, go touch some grass. But Nvidia did this thing today. Nvidia was holding the market strong today. If it wasn't for Nvidia, I think, man, it would have been a lot of people's retirement accounts would have been hurting, because a lot of 401ks use like the overall stock market, the S&P 500. But Nvidia, I'm going to definitely be looking at Nvidia tomorrow for a pullback. It could be overbought right now, but this was kind of bound to happen. If you look at Nvidia on the 4-hour chart, look at all these gaps. Nvidia was, man, Nvidia had a lot of gaps to fill. So it was bound for a nice green day. It's been a while since they've had a green day. It fell from grace. It was all the way up at 232 at the beginning of June. And then it fell. It really fell. So I'm looking for it to pull back a little bit tomorrow for another move up. I think it's gonna continue moving back up to its all-time high. But this is not financial advice. This is what I think. I'm just going to be watching tomorrow. Once I make this kind of funds and stuff like that, I tend to trade with less size and be more on the defense of protecting my capital. My watch list for tomorrow will be these three: Nvidia, SpaceX, because I think SpaceX is definitely oversold right now. I'm looking at SpaceX to definitely reclaim 150. That's its original IPO price. Is like, once it came in, it bust 150, and man, it was up and down, up and down. I think it's oversold, but it does have some more room to the downside. I like to look at the 4-hour chart a lot when I'm doing an analysis. So if you look at the 4-hour chart on SpaceX, lots of huge moves. It's relatively new, so this pullback is is normal. It exploded, of course, on day one from 149 all the way to 170 something. So yeah, then the next week it was like at 225. So this is kind of normal. I don't see SpaceX doing nothing crazy this week as far as going down to like 130. But if it does lose 145, look for that thing to touch 135. Just look for it to touch 135. I love trading GEV. My goodness, GEV, this monster. I'm gonna pull GEV up big so that we can see this monster of a stock. GEV, whew, it has been on a tear. It's been tearing the place. tearing up the place from the beginning of June. The beginning of June will be right here. A small pullback, and it started exploding. So now it's having some healthy pullbacks right now. I can see GEV continuing this trend line up here. Probably hitting like 1300 by the end of the year for sure. But that's just my thoughts. Hey, who knows? I back to you, Sammy. Boom. Hey. So, you see, followed my rules. I stayed with the trend while I was trading. I was comfy with it going down. Then that thing started to curl back up. I wasn't comfortable with going back in. I could have gone back in, but I decided not to. I decided to take my winnings and trade tomorrow. Close my laptop, see growth. Tomorrow, the market gonna still be there. All right, y'all. These were real trades. No hype. Trust in my process. What I do may not work for you. This is not financial advice. But we can all learn together. If you see something that I did incorrect, please comment below what you traded today, how you were able to traverse this market going up and down. It was a very scary market today, but let me tell you, if you were able to understand staying with the trend going down, then you made some money today. Then when it curl back up, if you decided to wait until it curl back up, then you made some money today. It's your boy Sammy signing out.